Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. It's a rivalry match. Ooh, Lord Tremendous of the Warriors of Chaos. That's me. Versus Death Holy Death of the Dark Elves. And yes, it's our continuation of our narrative rivalry match, and it's awesome. Here's my list. It's a little bit different. I played this one earlier against what else I think? But here it is. I have my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. He's a Marcus Zinch level 3 wizard. He's got the Chaos Armor, Charm Shield, Dragon Bane Gem, Other Trickster Shard, Soul Feeder Scale Skin, Flaming Breath, and Laura Metal. My hero choices are the Exalted Hero, Catalyst, the Keeper of the Colors, with the Marcus Zinch, BSB, Halberd, Chaos Steed, Helm of Many Eyes, and a Dawnstone. And then I have my other Exalted Hero, Berserk. He's got the Mark of Khorne, he's got an extra hand weapon, Hideous Visage, Dragon Helm, and a Crown of Command. Last but not least is my Chaos Sorcerer, Saval, the Mercenary of Chaos. He's got the Marcus Zinch, he's level 2 wizard, he's got the Demonic Mount, Pack Hog. He's got an Enchanted Shield, Skull of Catan, Talisman of Protection, and use Lord Zinch. My core choices are 5 Chaos Warhounds, 23 Chaos Warriors, Blood Tide with Mark of Khorne, Full Command, Halberds, and a Banner of Fury, and my Chariot, the Vessel of Change with the Marcus Zinch. My special choices consist of 5 Chaos Knights, the Teeth of Zinch, with Mark Zinch and Sorcerer's Weapons, Banner Musician, and Standard Discipline, and my Chimera, Trifection, with Regen and Flaming Breath. My rare choice is my keystone piece to this entire army, the one, the only, my Mutalith Vortex. Gotta love the beast. My opponent's list is pretty much exactly the same as it's always been. He's got his Dreadlord, Lady Lydia Bleakflower, Dread Lady of Harganeth. She's got Heavy Armor, Sea Dragon Cloak, Shield, Giant Blade, Dawnstone, and Other Trickster's Shard. He's got his Supreme Sorceress, Lily Bleakflower, the Supreme Sorceress of Harganeth. She's a level 4 wizard with the Book of Asher and the Lore of Life. And his hero choices are his Death Hag, Julieta, Lady of Lacerations on the Cauldron of Blood. And his Sorceress, Tessa, the Apprentice. She's a level 2 wizard with the Tome of Furion and uses the Lore of Dark Magic. And he's got his master, the Housecarl of the Bleak Flowers. He's his BSB. He's got Heavy Armor, Sea Dragon Cloak, Sword of Might, Enchanted Shield, and Iron Curse Icon. His core choices are 25 Witch Elves with Full Command and a Razor Standard, 2 units of Dark Riders with Musician and Shields, and 15 Bleak Swords that are just a bunker. His special choices consist of 20 Executioners with Full Command and a Banner of Swiftness, as well as 4 Bolt Throwers. His rare choices are just his 5 Doomfire Warlocks. Here's my side of the narrative. We'll get to deaths at the end of the game, but yes, here it goes. Tremendous looked with satisfaction at his legion of Skull Crushers. He absolutely hated them. Just looking upon them was enough to set his black blood boiling. He had gathered all of them together and sent them into the Bleakflower land in Harganeth to cause as much destruction and havoc as they could before being killed by her defenders. Of course, Tremendous hadn't told them that little detail. He had just pointed them in the correct direction and ordered them to kill. They had needed no explanation. That was the thing about Khorne devotees. Easily led, incredibly destructive. Tremendous watched as the mass of over 100 Skullcrushers charged into Lydia's land, killing everything in their wake. The town was caught unaware, and Tremendous couldn't help but marvel at how quickly the Bleakflower defenses responded to this unexpected threat. 1/3 of the Crushers were killed before reaching their goal with the first volley of bolt thrower fire. The matching scars on Tremendous's body itched as he watched his frenzied forces get cut down. Then the Crushers were upon the Elves, killing scores of them by the second. Hundreds of Elves wearing the Bleakflower colors were slaughtered by the remaining Crushers, and once again Tremendous found himself impressed with the events occurring on the battlefield. The Crushers' slaughter caused an army-wide panic in the Elves, and they began fleeing in droves before the onslaught. This surprised Tremendous, as he had not expected this assault to succeed. For a moment he felt elation as he saw the Elven lines break and get run down. It was then that Lydia took to the field. She and her executioners that always flanked her in combat slaughtered the fleeing elves almost as easily as the crushers were. Faced with this new threat, the elves stopped fleeing as one and turned to fight the remaining crushers. With Lydia and her sisters on the field, the battle took only a matter of minutes to be decided. Tremendous's skull crushers were utterly destroyed. Not so much as a single survivor remained. Tremendous was unsurprised by this outcome. It had been what he expected. The carnage of dead elves and ruined Juggernaut made the battlefield the perfect place for him to make his main attack on Lydia and the accursed bleak flowers. With a wave of his claw, Tremendous summoned an old friend. Trifection! An immense chimera landed in the middle of the battlefield and roared its three-headed challenge at the elves. Only Lydia's presence, and her giant blade, kept her army from fleeing. Grinning his signature grin from underneath his cloth-wrapped face, Tremendous gave the order to charge. His true army burst from cover to meet Lydia once again on the field of battle. These are my spells, 3 from Metal, 2 from Tzeentch, and 1 from the Beast. And these are his spells, 4 from Life, 2 from Dark Magic, and 2 that his Warlocks get. And here's deployment. For the most part, I was just going to send... My Chimera's job was to go up the left flank there, get a hold of the Bleak Swords, and kill off Tessa and Lilith before... and Lily anyway, before they could do too much damage with spells. I was hoping turn 3, at the most, they'd be in combat with them, and my Chimera would just combat res them to death, hopefully. Meanwhile, the Knights, the Warriors, the Chariot, the Dogs, and Saval were going to just try to massacre the Executioners and the Witches the best they could, while my Demon Prince and my Munolith gave his bolt thrower something to shoot at, because it occurs to me that I have no answer for the bolt throwers. So that was the plan. Here's my opponent's center, because he didn't really have anything on the right flank. From left to right, there's his Executioners with his General and his BSB. Right there in the middle are his Witch Elves with his Cauldron and Death Hag attached. Behind them are his Bleak Swords with Tessa and Lily. And right there to our right are 2 Bolt Throwers, one kind of on a hill. And his left flank, from right to left, there's his unit of one of his units of Dark Riders, 2 Bolt Throwers. On the hill there is another unit of Dark Riders, and in front of them are his Warlocks. Here's my right flank, with Tremendous and the Beast. And my center, consisting from right to left of Saval, my Dogs, my Warriors with Berserk, my Tzeentch Chariot, and my other Knights with my BSB. And my left flank, which consists of Trifection, which is just kind of cool, because like I said, he's on a assassination mission. Here's top of 1 after movement, and as you can see, I didn't get to go first, and the elves don't come forward because there's no reason for them to come forward, so nothing really changes. During his magic phase, he gets like Flesh of Stone and Power of Darkness and all these other crappy spells off, because I don't care. I mean, I'm not going after him at all. Here's Flesh of Stone on the Executioners, which I understood, but my Mutalith was way the heck over on the other flank. There was nothing I was going to do to those guys. So we go to bottom 1 after movement, and since I can't afford to sit around and wait, I thrust forward, and as you can see, I went as far as I could with pretty much everybody. No real rhyme or reason. I knew his bolt throwers were going to shoot, I knew his magic phase was going to magic, so my job was to just do as best that I can, because he's rolling hot right out of the box. 5s and 6s like it's going out of style during his magic phase. I got lucky that his bolt throwers weren't able to do anything, but ooh man, he's rolling high today. During my magic phase, the Beast gets his spell off on the Dark Riders on the hill. I roll a 1, so now they cause fear for the rest of the game, but 3 of them fail their toughness checks and die, so they end up making their break check, but they're a lot less scary now. See, there they go. There's only 2 left, and they're hideous, but scary. So we go to top of 2 after movement, and there still is very little. His fast cav, they all run over to my right flank there and start harassing my Demon Prince and my Mutalith. Other than that, though, nothing moves. Nothing. During his magic phase, he gets Soul Blight off of my Demon Prince, which -1 strength, -1 toughness. That really sucks. But I knew what he was trying to do. I tried to stop it, and he got it off anyway. What can you do? I'm sorry, I didn't try to stop it because it was infernal. It was irresistible forced by his Warlocks, and it ends up killing all 5 of them, which is cool because when all 5 of the Warlocks die, the Dark Riders right next to him flee, and they don't make it off the table, but it'll put them out of position for a turn. Uh, During the rest of his magic phase, he gets more stuff off Flesh of Stone on the witches, as well as Power of Darkness on the Bleak Swords, which I don't care about because I'm not actually going to do anything against them. And then a shooting phase. I'm sorry, no, this is still his magic phase. No. This is a shooting phase. His bolt throwers put 3 wounds on my Demon Prince. I'm lucky he's not dead. But yeah, it's just he will not stop rolling high, and I'm rolling average. I mean, I'm really not upset with my dice. My opponent is rolling out of the box. It's quite impressive, and the only reason my Demon Prince is still alive is because I got lucky. So bottom of 2 after movement, as you can see, my Demon Prince goes into the bolt thrower on the hill, and Saval goes into the other bolt thrower because I need them to stop shooting at me. Meanwhile, my dogs move up to try to bait the witches. The knights, the chariot, and the warriors wait to see which unit of elves comes forward. And the Chimera positioned himself poorly, which is my fault, to get a hold of Lydia and or Lilith and Tessa in the unit of Bleak Swords, and I should have positioned my Chimera a lot differently, and I didn't. There's a better picture of my Demon Prince and Saval making it into the bolt throwers. The reason my Demon Prince is off the hill is because physics won't allow me to put him up against the bolt thrower right now. Nothing happens in Magic, so we go straight to combat, and my Demon Prince goes first, kills the bolt thrower, overruns into the other bolt thrower, and kills that bolt thrower. I try 4 times the soul feed and fail 4 times. In hindsight, what I should have done is let Saval destroy the first bolt thrower and then overrun to get out of the way so that my Demon Prince could slam into the witches and not get shot off the table. That was my fault. That was stupid. And, well, you'll see what happens. So here's top of 3 after movement, and for the most part, there's still none. Well, that's not entirely true. The witches move up to about an inch away from my dogs. They don't have to charge. They pass their frenzy. The executioners move up in such a way that in conjunction with the bleak swords, that they move up so that the Chimera not only doesn't have a charge on the bleak swords, but he's got a beautiful flank charge on the executioners, and I'm just not feeling it. Meanwhile, his fast cav, the Dark Riders that were fleeing rally, and the other Dark Riders just stay there to harass the beast. During his magic phase, he gets Flesh of Stone off on the Witch Elves again. Why not, right? And then during his shooting phase, without any hesitation or difficulty, he's able to easily hit, wound, and kill my Demon Prince. Oh, did it suck? Yeah, I need a better answer for bolt throwers, and I need it soon. It's just he's killing me with these things. That's all that happens in this round, so we go to bottom of 3 after movement, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot. My Mutalith makes a failed attempt charge at the bolt throwers that are shooting at him, and everything else just pretty much stays where it's at. The Chimera tries to position himself a little bit better. I thought about charging into the Witch Elves with him. I just didn't know what to do with him at this point. I wanted him into the Bleak Swords, and I couldn't get him there. He actually failed his roll to see if he could march, so he could only move 10 inches, because I was stupid enough to put him within 8 of the executioners. I make a lot of mistakes during this game, and Death is not the kind of guy that you want to make mistakes when you're playing against, because he will exploit them. He's really good. But it is what it is. What can you do? I'm playing like ass. My dogs, again, I make another mistake. I forget to change the direction that they're looking, so they're not blocking anymore. They're just being a minor inconvenience to the Witch Elves. I should have tilted them so that they were looking towards or reformed them or whatever, so they were looking towards the forest. I didn't do that. I moved them. I didn't move them at all. Completely forgot to move the dogs. I'm an idiot. So, yeah, trust me, that'll come back to haunt me. Here's a better picture of the Mutalith not making his charge into the bolt thrower. Not a huge surprise. I think I needed a 10 to make it, but grabbing at straws here now because I'm screwing up pretty bad. During the magic phase, just harassing the Bleak Swords. I get Blue Flame off. I do like 1 wound, and they get a 6-up regen. So we got a top of 4 after movement, and just like you thought was going to happen, his witches charge dogs who fail their terror check, flee, get away, and then the witches redirect into the warriors, make their charge, no problem. And now I'm just foobar screwed because I'm an idiot, because I am a stupid, stupid person, and I deserve to lose. So other than that, the executioners stand back to watch because I'm an idiot and I'm playing for him. And the Bleak Swords, well, they don't care anymore because, well, he doesn't care about them anymore because he moves Lilith and Tessa into the Executioners, daring my Chimera to charge them, which I have no intention of doing. So that's pretty much it there. There's a better picture of my stupidity playing out on the table. There's, yeah, they make their charge into my warriors no problem. And there's a better picture of the dogs trying to get off the field, and that's kind of embarrassing when plastic dogs are smarter than you are. Oh man. And just because I thought it was kind of funny, there's all four of his characters, minus the Death Hag, inside his brick of executioners. It's a party in there. Over here, during the shooting phase, he shoots at my dogs because he doesn't really have any other shot and kills two of them. They're already fleeing though, so they pass their panic check because they're panicking. I don't know. And over here in combat, the Witch Elves kill every single one of my warriors before I get to attack. And that's exactly what I deserve to have happen to me because I am a flippin' moron during this game. A flippin' retarded moron. The only reason that Berserk is still there is because he's got the Crown of Command and I'm able to roll an 8 on my break check. But, oh, I'm so pissed off at myself. Just looking at this slide makes me sick about how stupid I am. But it is what it is. You know, you're going to make mistakes. Death is going to take it out on your face. And I should have had him punch me, but yeah, I'm just not that kind of a masochist. So yeah, I'm just pissed off at myself for playing like a full-blown retard. So we go to bottom of 4 after movement, and as you can see, my knights and my chariot charged in. I forget to mention in that last slide, after he killed my warriors and everything like that, he reformed to give Berserk his flank so that when my knights and my chariot charged, I had to charge their front. And I just don't care anymore at this point. It's like, well, you know what? I screwed up. Now it's just about killing elves. I have one chance to break the witches before I die, and if I don't, Berserk is dead. The executioners are going to kill me. There's nothing left to do, so why not? We'll have fun. The Chimera slams into the Bleak Swords, who pass their terror check and accept it, and the Behemoth makes his charge finally into the Bolt Thrower, which is cool. Meanwhile, the dogs continue to flee because they're the only smart ones on the table. There's a better picture of the chariot and the knights slamming into the witches, which is basically falling right into Death's trap. But I had no other options. I mean, what else was I going to do, right? And there's a picture of the beast slamming into his bolt thrower because I still hate the bolt throwers. And a picture of Trifection going in to get some food. Oh, and last turn, before he went in there during Death's last turn, he shot and put 3 wounds on the Chimera. So yeah, I'm just loving how I'm playing this game. During my magic phase, I get Infernal Gateway and Blue Fire Zinch off on the Executioners, doing very little damage. I do some. I take a dent out of them, but it's not nearly enough to do what I need to do. And then during combat, my beast is able to easily kill the first bolt thrower and overrun into the next. So that's a good thing, at least. During combat over here, I use Flaming Breath, I attack, I do Thunder Stomp, and still 5 Bleak Swords manage to live. So that's awesome. They're steadfast, they make their break check no problem because the BSB and the Dreadlord are right there, and they turn to face the Chimera because why not? I suck at life. Oh, I'm almost embarrassed to do this battle report, really. I swear I usually play better than this. During combat over here, it actually doesn't go too terrible. I lose 2 knights, the chariot dies, and that's not a shock because everything gets killed by witch elves. But everything, I do a little bit of damage. Not a ton because I'm rolling average and Death is rolling out of the box, like I've been saying since turn 1. He's really, really rolling well. He makes a boatload of his ward saves. I think the only elves I really kill are the ones on the charge and the ones, the challenge that my BSB is in. I get a reroll for his trouble, which doesn't amount to a hill of beans right now. But yeah, for the most part, it was devastating. It really, really was. I did a bunch of wounds, and he couldn't stop making his 5-up wards, and if he's gonna make his saves, I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a demon prince riding a dragon, you're gonna lose. So speaking of losing, we go to top of 5, yay! And now the Dark Elves are kind of running out of targets. The Executioners charge into the flank of the Knights because why wouldn't they? The Dark Riders, the full unit go after the dogs because, well, they're Dark Elves. They're kind of sick like that. And the other unit are just 2 Dark Riders. They just kind of move up to watch the fight because they got nothing else going on. They need a hobby. Right here, my opponent gets Word of Pain off on my Knights. And he gets it off by, he takes off, it's the big one, and he does 3 to everything. I think, what is it? Movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill, or movement, weapon skill, strength, and toughness. I don't remember. It's probably the worst parts of the Bible, but he gets it off. And the Dark Elf lore attribute is able to drop a knight because things aren't going well enough for the Dark Elves as it is. The resulting miscast, however, is a 6 over Tessa's head, and it does a boatload of damage to the Executioners. Had I had any units left, I might have been able to take advantage of this outcome, but luckily for my opponent, I'm playing like raw ass, and so he can make mistakes like this, not his own mistakes, just, hey, irresistible force this one. And even though I lose a huge chunk of my executioners, hey, it doesn't matter because my opponent doesn't know how to play. So, yeah, death is really just going through the motions against me at this time. And I honestly don't know what the problem is. I'm not distracted. I'm just not thinking. I got nothing. Sometimes I play like ass, and I record it and put it on YouTube to humiliate myself further. During the shooting phase, he gets a bunch of pot shots off at the dogs, but only kills 1, which is embarrassing and funny. The dogs are still panicking, so yeah, they just keep running. During combat over here, the Bleak Swords are able to slip a wound through and kill Trifection because that's just the way the game is going. I don't even know what to tell you. The resulting panic check Saval has to take, as you can see, causes him to flee the F off the table. Why? Because he's as smart as my dogs and realizes that this game is over and he might as well just go home and lick his wounds. So we go into combat and everything of mine dies. I don't do anything to him, and gods damn me. I mean, unbelievable how terrible I'm playing, but whatever. Just don't like it when I play like this. I don't like it when I have games like this. It's not Death's fault. He's playing beautifully. I just don't like it when I play horribly like this. Just horribly. He reforms over this way because the only thing I have left on the table now are fleeing dogs and the Mutalith. Speaking of the beast, he kills another bolt thrower for me and does very well. He's wagging his little tails. He's being good. I love my beast. I can always rely on the beast. Even when I'm playing terrible, the beast comes through. So we go to bottom of 5, and the dogs run off the table, because, well, that's what they do. And, yeah, the Mutalith takes the hill and triumphantly roars at the Dark Elves, daring them to charge him. During the magic phase, I get the beast spell off on the Executioners, and I roll a 6. Gotta love the beast. The resulting toughness checks from everybody in the unit ends up popping just one of the executioners, but Tessa dies. Tessa and an executioner end up melding into the gloriousness that is... That's right. Tessa turns into a spawn, and that's awesome. Tessa and one executioner turn into a spawn. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm thrilled to see it happen. So we go to bottom of 6, and the executioners make a long distance charge into my Mutalith, no problem. And other than that, the Dark Riders run up to try to deal with Tessa. There's a better picture of his executioner slamming into the beast, which is a shame. The beast did so well this game. During his magic phase, he gets regrowth off on the executioners as well as flesh to stone because I'm out of casters, so it's really just whatever he wants to do. I think he ended up getting four or five executioners back. It was really bad. And then during his shooting phase, his Dark Riders shoot and put 1 wound on Tessa, which I think is kind of cruel because Tessa is on their team. She's just looks different now. And, you know, Dark Elves are just fickle. It's not okay. During combat, the Beast actually does pretty well. He doesn't just die, which I fully expected him to do, and I would have totally understand. He is able to kill a couple of the Executioners, but really the only ones he kills are the ones that he brought back with regrowth. I lose this combat, and the Beast intelligently runs away, and he runs off the table. The Executioners don't even bother pursuing because the Beast has earned a little bit of Lydia's respect. And she's got a soft spot for big crazy things with a bunch of mouths, so the Beast kind of fits that pattern. She allows him to flee, and I thought that was nice. So we go to bottom of 6 after movement, and Tessa, the spawn, charges the Bleak Swords. And I don't think she really charges them. I think she's just trying to get back into her bunker unit because that's where she knows she's supposed to be. There's a better picture of Tessa trying to rejoin the Bleak Swords. Unfortunately, she loses her shit and decides to kill all the bleak swords instead. So Tessa the Spawn is able to kill a whole bunch of the bleak swords and ends up thunder stomping or stomping the last one and kills them all. And I get the bleak sword points after all. And there it is, end of the game. The Dark Riders, the Executioners, and the Witch Elves are looking at Tessa, trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do about this. Absolutely fantastic. I played terribly this game, but I still had a blast. Still had a moment where Tessa turns into a spawn, which is just absolutely outstanding. And yeah, I got tabled. Let's face it, I got tabled. Tessa doesn't count for any points. Oh, does it hurt my feelings. But we'll get to that in a moment, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Token time, everybody. Tokens. Check them out. All the tokens you could need for anything that you could possibly play. Warhammer 40k, Infinity, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Infinity, Malifaux, whatever you need tokens for, Token Gal can make the tokens. They're dirt cheap, guys. No more than $8 for a set, but they're solid gold quality. I mean, these are glass beads. They magnify the picture and the words. You've got wound counters. You've got status effects. You've got spell effects. +1 toughness, -1 strength. You know, whatever you need. She's got all the magic lores. She's got everything you need for any system that you play. She's got a email address you can send and be like, hey, I'm looking for this. And now she has a website. It's there at the bottom. I'm not going to bother reading it off, because if you can't read, what the hell are you doing on the internet? Just seriously, though, check her out. Check out her website. Order yourself some tokens. It's totally worth it. You won't regret it. The Northern Wastes. So, you can fix that, right? Lydia stared with an open fascination at the writhing thing that Tessa had become. After much effort and a few deaths, the Druchii had managed to bind and chain the screaming and flailing spawn in the back of a Cold One chariot. The driver seemed somewhat displeased with the situation. Lydia glared at the Cold Ones, who glared back stupidly. The Dread Lady harbored a deep suspicion of all things reptilian. Lily sighed. Yes, I can fix it, but... Because, Lydia interrupted, we are getting paid a lot of money to train her. Lily tutted in response. We are getting paid nothing. I am getting paid a great deal to turn this incompetent child into a passable sorceress. And yes, I can undo this. Well, most of it. Probably. Lily gestured at one of her attendants. Get some of Lord Thunderbelly's bones. That'll help with this. Actually, get them, all of them. Those bones sell for a lot. Well, intact ones do. She shot a glance at her sister, who assumed an innocent expression and began whistling tunelessly. I have absolutely no idea what you might be referring to. 6 months later, Hargonath, the Bleakflower Citadel, Lily's Tower. Lydia paused at the door to Lily's workshop. Obscene runes wrapped around the frame of the blackened wood. Strange smells filled the tower, some pleasant and fragrant, hinting of fertile fields and untamed life, others bitter and acrid, promising pain and death. Whispers and screams echoed through the halls. Small candles ensconced in glass lanterns burned with pale blue witchlight, the only illumination in the gloomy darkness. She put her hand on the door. Lydia didn't particularly care for magic, but she did like to watch things blow up. And besides, she was bored anyway. She heaved the door open and strode in. Lily was standing in front of a massive tapestry, her black and red robes immaculately pressed and arranged over her slight frame. Her long white hair fell in ringlets down her shoulders to the small of her back. Her pale green eyes barely acknowledged Lydia's entrance. The tapestry covered almost the entirety of one wall. It appeared to be the work of the Norsemen. Writhing runes of chaos punctuated the figures woven into the fabric. Lydia guessed it was probably some long and very ancient, boring epic ode about some chaos god, demon champion, or whatever. Tessa stood to one side of the room. Chalked runes surrounded her in concentric circles on the floor, and she was reading out loud from a black leather-bound tome. Lydia supposed she looked almost normal. The only remnant of her unfortunate transformation was her hair, which had shifted color from a glossy black to a bright, almost orange red, and now defied gravity, the whole mass floating up and waving slowly in the air. The overall effect gave one the impression that Tessa was permanently underwater. It reminded Lydia of patches of seaweed she had seen on clear days at sea. She idly wondered if that was in any way a fire hazard. "So what you doing?" Lily didn't turn away from the tapestry. "I am studying this tapestry. I believe it is the story of the demon we keep killing." Lydia nodded. "Yeah, Lord Tornado. Yes, it's an archaic dialect of Norse that I'm not familiar with. It will take some time to translate. The tapestry itself is fantastic." The sorceress paused to run one finger down the threading. "The craftsmanship is impeccable. See here? This is golden thread woven with platinum and steel. Here you can see sapphires embedded in the warp." Lydia had already zoned out. Nothing was exploding, and this was unfortunate. She wandered over to get a closer look at Tessa's hair. It was actually kind of alluring in its own way. She found herself wondering what would happen if she submerged the apprentice in water. Would her hair begin to act normally? Tessa murmured to herself as she read from the tome. "Ask Krakow." Lily turned from the tapestry. "Kickow! It's Kickow! How many times do you have to fail before you get it right?" She glared at the apprentice. Tessa, mortified, and pushed her spectacles up to her nose to peer closer into the tome. "Oh, I see. Sorry, mistress. Kickow. Yes, I see now. Sorry." "Start over from the beginning." Lily shot a glance at her sister. "And Lydia, get away from those damn rooms. They're what's stopping the spells from manifesting. Or rather, they would if she could ever cast one." "Yeah, fine. I was just wondering what would happen if we drowned her. Hey, do you want to take a bubble bath?" The door of the laboratory burst open again. An extremely disheveled-looking elf in the heraldry of the Witch King surged through the open doorway, bounding across the room, and came to a halt in front of the twins, interposing himself between them and the tapestry. His armor was loose and torn in some places, his purple cloak ripped in several. His dark steel helmet bore a single C on the brow. He appeared to be more or less covered in thick, vicious slime, and smelled as if he had been wading through sewage. Lily hissed in frustration and walked away, moving to a work table in the corner. "Lydia Bleakflower, dread lady of Harganeth, I come bearing a missive from our lord and master Malekith, sovereign of all Nagarond." "Wait!" Lydia's commanding voice stopped the messenger mid-sentence. "How the hell did you get in here, and what are you covered in?" "I got in here with an official writ of passage, because I am a courier of the Witch King, and I am covered in the spit of that thing you keep in the basement where your attendant tried to lure me. Oh, Kim. Yes, we love Kim. I'm sure she just wanted to play. She's very affectionate. And I'm sure Sextus didn't try to lure you there. He's just a bit befuddled in his old age." The courier's mouth hung open in amazement. Were these people insane? And why was that woman's hair floating? "I am the 100th messenger our lord has sent to you." "Oh, is that why you have a C on your head?" The messenger grit his teeth. "Yes, it is. Now," he reached into his cloak and pulled out a scroll case, which he proceeded to open. Lily yawned. "You're finally going to have to go to that council." The messenger plowed on. "By the hand of Malekith, Witch King, Lord of all Nagarond, he whose darkness shrouds the land, whose vengeance—" Lydia zoned out again. She already knew what the message was. She was being summoned to Malekith's Council of Nobles. He'd been summoning her for, 99 years in a row now. She'd managed to dodge the letters each time. The messengers have gotten lost or been subject to terrible accidents each time. You can't answer a summons you never receive, can you? She couldn't just kill the man herself, or even order him killed. Plausible deniability was the key. Good servants know what their mistress desires without being told. But this one had made it through despite the old lure 'em through the Charybdis lair trick. It wasn't like being on the council was a bad thing. There was prestige, more money, and all that. But it was just really terribly boring. It was always the same, yammering on about vengeance on Ulthuan and so forth. Seriously, who gave a shit? That was like 10 million years ago or something. Lost in her thoughts, she idly watched as a rat scurried across the floor, skittering over the chalked lines of Tessa's circle, smudging the runes. It paused to look and squeak at Lydia before disappearing into the depths of the lab. The messenger droned on. whose hatred burns like no other. By my hand, I, Malekith, Tessa yelled jubilantly. The messenger managed to look shocked in the split second before the bolt of black fire hit him directly in the chest, flinging him backwards and slamming him in the tapestried wall. He exploded spectacularly. Pieces of ruined armor and scraps of burning clothing were flung out across the workshop. Everyone stood stock still as the messenger's burning helmet slowly rolled across the floor, perfectly on edge, and slowly spun to a halt at Lily's feet. Tessa looked appalled. She slowly pushed her spectacles in closer to her eyes to stare in amazement as the elf-shaped hole that had been burned through the tapestry and the smoking pair of boots lying just in front of it. "Oops!" Lydia began convulsing, her hand over her mouth. She sank to her knees and slowly rolled over onto her back. She began kicking her legs and then, unable to hold it any longer, burst into a maniacal laughter. Lily sighed and stared at the ruined tapestry. Now she would never be able to translate it. Whatever mysteries it held were lost forever. This is why we can't have nice things. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I do my best to be a narrator, but needless to say, I have a voice for silent films. Anyway, here's the current rivalry score between me and Death Holy Death. I've won 5, we've tied 0, and he's won 9. I suck, I know. But, yeah, all said and done, another terrible defeat for Lord Tremendous. I lost everything. Although we did have the Tessa spawn at the end of the game still on the table. The Dark Elves lost Tessa, which was hilarious. Unit of Dark Riders, Warlocks, Bolt Throwers, and Bleak Swords. It was a damn good fight. I just couldn't get ahead of Death. I made so many terrible mistakes this game, and he made none. Well, I mean, he made none that were his fault. He did miscast once, but oh well. The Witch Elves, yet again, whooped my candy ass. I know, you can say it all you want in the comments. You know I'm going to do it again, and again, and again. I'll never learn. I hate elves. I got to kill some. I feel good about that. Gotta love the mother effing beast. Took out 2 bolt throwers, turned Tessa into a spawn, held out, didn't get killed by the executioners. He got ran off by them, which is just as good as being dead, but he lived, and I feel good about that. Trifection got gutted early. Little rough to get that last wound put on him by Bleak Swords. I don't know if I'm going to keep him in the list. I'm thinking not. I need more in my army, and having another monster just isn't what I need right now. Especially against Death's army. It's just too many easy points for him to get. What I am starting to realize is that I need a better answer for bolt throwers. They're just too dangerous. And after this game, I really start, just trying to figure out what I can do against bolt throwers to make it so that they don't gut me as easily as they've been. Absolutely loving the narratives and my games against Death. The storyline battle reports are a blast. The storylines that Death come up with, I laugh my ass off. And I'm relatively entertained by the ones I come up with. Although they're not nearly as good as Death's, I'm still enjoying them. But this is Battle Report 99, guys, which means Battle Report number 100 is about to follow. No one is safe. Anybody in my army could die. Anybody in his army could die. I promise you, one character dies in our next Battle Report. I mean, gone. He's not coming back. No gods are going to show up and be like, oh, well, and then he returns. No, this character is going to be dead. Not to say, like, if it's a lord or a general or something like that, that he's not going to come back with a different name and the same kit or anything like that. But for storyline purposes, he or she will be just completely destroyed and dead. So don't miss that one. Not that it's like it's going to be taken down or anything like that. But yeah, it should be a good Battle Report number 100. But I'm really looking forward to the rematch. I'm looking forward to seeing how the story progresses, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. By all means, feel free to throw any suggestions you might want to see, to the story. If we like it, maybe we'll include it. If we don't like it, maybe we'll just horribly ridicule you until you stop giving us bad ideas. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for number 99, which is pretty cool, actually. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. God knows I did. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.